time for my live. Just a heads up, this might be a an emotional one. So yeah, I never thought that I was a drug addict, but I realize that I have been psychologically and physically addicted to prednisone, which is a steroid. And so today I want to talk about my experience of steroid withdrawal and what that's really like, because a lot of people in my close surroundings have no idea. Like they don't appreciate how intense it is. So I want to shed light on that, to educate, but also I want to talk about my why with Purium, because it's very much connected to what I'm going through. Oh, I'm feeling like I might cry already. Hey guys, thanks for being here. I'm feeling really lonely as I go through steroid withdrawal because it's very hard. And this is my way today of connecting with the world, because this is easier for me than actually seeing a friend in real life right now. This is the best that I could do. So here's my why with Purium. I first got into Purium because it took away chronic pain in 10 days. I had long COVID, and I was struggling with all these health issues for a year. And I got on Purium to see if it would help with that. And it did. In 10 days, it took away a year of chronic pain, which was remarkable. And I thought, maybe there's something in this food, in this gut repair, that can help me overcome this autoimmune disease that I've had for 18 years. And it can help me get off these drugs. And so I embarked on a journey, and I committed to Purium. And I didn't just do like a 30-day pack. I didn't just do it for 3 months. I just went in. I said, I'm going to be adding this nutrition to my life daily, no matter what else I eat. Even if I eat a cheeseburger, I'm going to make sure I get this into my body. And if any of you don't know, I do have an autoimmune disease, and I have been on 3 really intense medications for 18 years, never been able to lower the dose, never been able to get off of them. I mean, like, some serious consequences would happen if I tried. And I gave up on that until Purium. So I started eating these foods, and gradually I was able to lower the dosage of all my medications. So I was taking methotrexate. I was also taking Humira, which is a biologics, and then I was taking prednisone, which is a steroid, and I was able to lower all of them and then get off of methotrexate and then get off of Humira. But prednisone, steroid, was a harder one to get off of. I thought the addiction to my steroids was mostly psychological, but it turns out it was quite, sorry, I had a phone call there. Turns out it was quite physical too. So one of the blessings of what I'm going through is I'm off of my prednisone. And that was my why for joining this Purium lifestyle and joining this business. So the first reason, my first why I put this in my body every day, was to get off of my drugs. It wasn't even my goal yet to help people. It wasn't even my goal to be financially free and stable through this business. It wasn't even my goal to be free in how I live my life. My main reason for joining Purium was to get off my medications. I did it. I'm off my medications. And the steroid, the prednisone, if any of you know about this drug, it's intense. It's really intense. And I was scared to let go of it because I had already given up on my methotrexate and my Humira, so it was a last crutch. It was the last crutch I was holding on to, and there was the psychological addiction that I became aware of, is letting go of this crutch. It scared the hell out of me. It was like, what am I going to do if I have a flare-up? Because it does happen still from time to time, but I don't have the same severity as I was living for the last 18 years. So I realized there's my psychological addiction to it. But recently I had a lot of health issues, and I couldn't deny that the steroids, the prednisone, was causing more harm than good. It created an allergic reaction in my body. It created blood clots in my lungs. It was actually making me more inflamed, which is interesting because I was taking it to lower inflammation. It screwed with my lymphatic system, my thyroid, my thymus gland. I mean, everything was damaged because of this prednisone that was supposed to support me. And my body just developed an allergic reaction to it. So amidst all these health issues, which I was dealing with a little bit over a month ago, I was dealing with the 2 blood clots. I was dealing with a really bad return of E. coli and some other health issues. And I was basically sick and vomiting for like 4 days. So I couldn't eat anything, which meant I couldn't take my prednisone, my steroid. And that was kind of a blessing in disguise. I was like, oh, I survived 4 days without these steroids. I think I can get off of them. And so I made the decision to finally get off of my prednisone, which was contributing to all these health issues. In the beginning, I was fine. Like, I thought I would go into shock. The thing with prednisone is if you're taking a high dose and you've been taking them for as long as I have, 18 years, if you go into surgery, they actually ask you if you're taking prednisone. And the reason they ask you is because if you didn't take your prednisone before the surgery, you could go into shock. That is how addictive this medication is. And so that was always the question for me before going into surgery. And so because I didn't take it for those 4 days while I was sick and I didn't go into shock, I knew that I'm ready to quit prednisone and start detoxing and releasing this drug from my body. And the first week was okay. But oh my gosh, it's been a month and I guess a week. And it is probably the most challenging thing I've ever done in my life. Every day is new. Every day is new. Some days are better. Some moments in a day are better. But it is hard. And I don't really have anybody to talk to about it. It's not anyone that relates to what it is to go through drug withdrawal. Maybe some of you have gone through alcohol withdrawal and can relate. I would like to be able to talk to someone who understands, because I think that would really help me right now. You know, it takes a lot of courage every day to wake up in this chaos, in this experience, and choose to stay on the path. So I give myself kudos to that. I acknowledge that I am fucking strong and that I'm not giving up and that I'm doing it. I'm currently detoxing prednisone from my body. I'm going through extreme withdrawal. And I'm using things to further support this, the withdrawal symptoms, but also further support the detox, like fulvic zeolite. It's like a tincture. It helps to bind to toxins and heavy metals and pull them out. This is barley greens. It cleans the blood. It pulls out toxins. And this is all very important for me right now because I'm trying to assist my body to do the detox. And part of what prednisone did was it screwed up my lymphatic system. And it wasn't draining and it wasn't cleaning up. And so with those complications, it makes detoxing the steroids that much more complicated. So I need all the support I can get. So I take the barley greens, the fulvic zeolite tincture that's from Purium, and then I take the black activated charcoal, and then I also have my little trampoline which I jump on to help my lymphatic system drain. And um, so I'm gonna get into the symptoms of what I'm going through, because I do wanna shed light on that, and this is just more educational. It's not for pity. It's just so that people understand, because I do have like people in my life who I have had to explicitly say, I can't answer spontaneous calls right now because I'm going through steroid withdrawal. And it's too much for me to even pick up the phone. And, I have friends who say, wow, they understand, but they don't, because they keep calling and they keep asking for a hangout or this and that, without the sensitivity to where I'm at currently. And it just shows that the world around me, like, unless they've gone through it or helped someone through it, they really don't know how to engage with me, or how to engage with someone who's going through drug withdrawal. So I go through moments where my hand goes numb, and my hand can swell up in a matter of 1 minute, and I can have pain. Basically, like, part of steroid withdrawal is joint achiness, joint pain, and inflammation, which is really scary because that sends me through a psychological loop of fear patterns. Because in the past, if I had inflammation, it meant that my body was having like a reaction, and I had to increase my dose, or I had to get my knees drained or something, right? So I'm having these movements of like, the inflammation and the pain is moving from joint to joint, and I'm having to tame that fear and not get back on my steroids and trust that this is the withdrawal, not necessarily a flare-up. They're very different, but they're also very the same. So my hand, I can wake up with my hand numb and it really hurts. It can swell up in the span of like a minute to 5 minutes, and then it can go away midday. I have full use of my hand again and it doesn't hurt. And now I'm having pain down my spine, in the back of my neck, in my entire rib cage, my shoulders, and my hips. So it hurts to inhale, it hurts to cough, it hurts to breathe, it hurts to lift my arms up above my head. And I do have to, when I have the energy, I do have to stretch my shoulders, but it's extremely painful. But after I stretch, it gives me more range and it does help with the pain. And so right now I'm just nurturing a lot of fear, because I can't do much with my body. I can't do what I love to do. I can't do what I was able to do last week. And if anybody wants to book me right now, I can't take any shows. If I have the energy, I can exercise once a week. Usually I used to be able to, stretch and exercise like 5 times a week. So I'm down to 1, if at all. I've had to cancel my students. That was one source of income. I have to cancel gigs right now, and I'm not able to work my Purium business at full capacity, and sometimes at all, because even just looking at the camera is too much for my eyes and can trigger migraines, and it takes too much focus and attention. So steroid withdrawal is affecting, first of all, my physical mobility, but it's also affecting my brain. So I'm having interesting bouts of like memory loss or gaps, because the brain fog is pretty intense as my body's releasing this drug. And this week I forgot which was my dominant hand. I had a fork and a knife in my hand, and I couldn't remember which one I cut with the knife. And also, like, I'll ask my partner a question and then he'll answer me, and then I'll say, what? Like, I have no idea what he's talking about. And in the span of 1 second, I forgot I asked him a question, and I have no idea what he's responding to. I find it extremely overwhelming to get in the car and drive anywhere in high traffic, and I'm definitely avoiding downtown. I find it incredibly hard to be physically social with people because it's very draining, but I'm lonely and I want to connect and get out. So that's been quite a challenge. If my phone rings, I don't answer it. Sometimes I'm in bed all day for 6 hours. I'm just laying in a dark room. I'm sleeping. There's also like loss of appetite. I have no desire to eat, or I might feel a little bit hungry and I'll eat, but the food doesn't really taste good, or I don't get that satisfaction. It's not generated in my brain that this food is tasty or exciting. That's another part of steroid withdrawal symptoms. Stomach ache. One of the ones that really bothers me right now is sleep. So I'm extremely, extremely tired, to the point where like I can only do 3 tasks a day, and that will wipe me out. So I'll have to have a nap, and I'm passing out around 10 p.m. But my body is still waking me up at 7 or 8. So even though I'm super exhausted, I can't sleep in, and I'm having crazy nightmares, and I'm waking up a lot throughout my sleep. So this steroid withdrawal is seriously, seriously impacting my sleep. And I guess one of the hardest parts of this steroid withdrawal, these are all very hard and painful and taxing and comes with their own challenges, but the hardest one is the mental health component, the way steroid withdrawal affects my brain chemistry, my thinking, and my mood. And that one's the most complex. Like, I went through 2 days this week where I felt nothing. Like, I didn't feel any connection to anybody in this world. I didn't feel any connection to any adventures or fun. Like I do have some summer trips booked, some adventures. And I would close my eyes and think about camping, and I would feel nothing. I would think about my partner, and I would feel nothing. And I felt disassociative, like this wasn't my body. This isn't my room. This isn't my house. This isn't my life. I don't know anyone. Like I'm losing my mind. Like nothing is familiar, and I'm stuck in this hole where I can't feel a connection to love or life or a purpose of any kind. And on top of it, nothing is familiar. Like I've been thrown into a different reality that's not even my own, and I feel trapped. That's how I could describe disassociation. It's like this feeling, it's like fear, it's like being trapped, it's like feeling homesick, but there's no home, bouts of anxiety, extreme depression, jitteriness, shakiness, thoughts of self-harm. Just that part is really insanely bizarre, and it can last sometimes 2 days. It can last sometimes, like, I could be laughing at a comedy show, eating my favorite food, and then in like an instant my energy level drops, and with that, disassociation and depression, and I feel nauseous, and I have no antecedent, no rhyme or reason as to why I'm feeling this way. I can't even grasp to a reason. I'm sure there's more, and I don't want to bring this conversation down. Let's lift the vibration now. I just really wanted to share what it is to be going through any kind of withdrawal, and how that alters our ability to work, our ability to connect with the world, to be social, to even do basic things. Like I'm not able to prepare myself a meal. Some days I'm dealing with so much exhaustion and so much pain in my joints, in my rib cage, that I can't even do a basic cleanup or take care of my pet, or Like all I can do is get my body up off the couch and crawl to bed, you know? And so it can be really hard to make plans with friends because right now I'm not working technically. Um, and I've applied for disability dreams for disability assistance during this time that I'm detoxing and going through withdrawal, which could actually last like 6 months to a year. So I'm not able to work and function at full capacity right now, and so it is hard to make plans with friends. And might make plans with a friend right now, and I'm feeling good, and then a few hours from now, the withdrawal symptoms are so intense, and my mental health drops, and I can't. So I am sharing this to really educate the people around me, uh, because it's hard for me to explain all of this to every single person in my life who's not getting it, who's not respecting those boundaries, or at least asking those questions of, you know, I don't know, like even for a hangout, like maybe offer something more simple for me because I can't meet you somewhere far and I don't know if I can last more than an hour, stuff like that, you know, just to be a bit more sensitive. But also watch this video because that will save me a lot of energy and time from having to go through these uh, intense withdrawal symptoms with every single person in my life. Or Google it. Google steroid prednisone withdrawal or drug withdrawal, and inform yourself of how intense that could be for people so that we can, you know, be more sensitive to the people that are going through this stuff. But the good news is that I am detoxing this prednisone. It's not in my life anymore. And one of the biggest things that I have overcome is my psychological addiction to the drug. Which was huge. And I think that a clear sign that I've overcome that component of the addiction is that even though I'm having all this pain in all my connective tissue in my joints and I'm not able to use my body at full capacity, I am not thinking about prednisone. I'm not even dreaming about it. I'm not thinking like maybe, what if? No, it's not in my mind anymore. I have fully recognized that this drug has created more harm and created more complications and that it needs to leave my body. So the psychological addiction to that drug is gone, and that's something really exciting to celebrate. And it does make me smile right now. And the knowing that even though my body is still completely flooded with this steroid, even though it's been 1 month and a week or so that I've been off of it, it is leaving my body. And one of the hard things to accept is as it leaves my body, because when things leave your body, it has information, right? And as we know about any kind of detox, when we're detoxing any kind of toxin from our body, it can trigger an emotional and physical response, because as this toxin is leaving your body, it's moving, and it's moving this memory, this energy, and it could be tied to a lot of trauma or emotions, whatever baggage it was holding on to. And so when I get these bouts of depression or disassociation, or when my hand swells up, I'm working on reminding myself that these are clear signs and symptoms of my body releasing the drug from my body. And it takes a lot of mental strength to go to that place instead of going to fear. Especially when steroid withdrawal affects your mental capacity. That's, I think, one of the more challenging things is how do you choose love, and how do you choose possibility, or even think positively when your brain chemistry is really being negatively impacted by the steroid withdrawal, and then you're having these symptoms that feel very real and very scary. How do you send that love? How do you send it assurance that you're on the right path? And I will tell you that I'm not doing this alone. I couldn't possibly. I have people that I can turn to, which has been incredible to have I just really don't know how one could go through drug withdrawal or any kind of withdrawal without the support of a team, you know. So I'm grateful for that. But I am putting this video out here to educate about steroid withdrawal. And thank you, Eric. Thank you, everyone, for all of your kind words right now. I am sharing this so that some people in my life can understand a little bit more and be a bit more sensitive to this, and if they want to be supportive, now they have more information on, you know, how they can be supportive. Like, definitely don't just pick up the phone and call me. I can't, I'm not answering any calls right now. I'm not even working. You know, text messages are great. Asking me when I'm available to talk is good, because I can pick a time where I'm not going through intense steroid withdrawal, and I can pick that window and let you know. Or we could plan ahead of time, and you need to be open to the fact that when the time comes, I might not be able to. So being flaky as ever right now is a quality that I am getting really comfortable with, because I am someone that's so, if I make a plan, I stick to it. And right now I'm having to choose me all the time. I'm having to choose my health, my stability, my wellness over any plans I made, over any promises, over anybody. And that's another really big thing. Like, this whole experience is teaching me, like, maximum self-love, because I'm having to choose me no matter what. And that's actually healing some of my trauma. It's funny how it's all connected. It's all very connected. So, you know, that was my why. That was my number one why for joining Purium and eating this food. It was to get off my drugs, and here I am. And the foods continue to be a huge part of my life, a huge part of my natural detoxing, you know, and also just nutrition support, because I can't cook myself anything. I can't, sometimes, like, I just have no appetite at all, and I can go a whole day without having a sip of water or food. And it's very easy to just drink my nutrition. Like, just in one of these, I just got, like, hydrated, I just got nourished, I just got energized. I'm also detoxing the steroids and other toxins from my body. It's helping me process depression and anxiety. It's just like everything in a one fucking cup, and it's so easy. So I might not be making Purium videos right now because that's just really exhausting and it's not feeling aligned, and I'm choosing me right now, but I am eating this nutrition daily, and it's what gets me up in the morning. And that one workout that I'm able to manage in a single week, I only get through it because I take Can't Beat This and 10 super aminos. Like, if it wasn't for that stuff, I would not be able to endure a workout. But I am forcing myself to do one workout, even if it hurts, even if it's exhausting, because I am trying to boost serotonin and just like stimulate my body in a positive way. So yeah, I'm in the thick of it. I'm doing it. It's happening. It's wild. It's a wild experience going through steroid withdrawal. But if, you know, any of you are wanting to get off your pharmaceutical drugs and have felt trapped in that experience, I'm open to talking with you about it, because a lot of people like us don't know who we can talk to. And our doctors are certainly not going to support that, because they are often pushing us towards more drugs, or they don't support our journey of getting off of them, which is the case with my rheumatologist. He does not support my journey. He has no idea that I'm getting off this drug. And if I told him about it, he would say no. So that's just the reality. And then I could talk to my other friends about it, but they really don't understand what drug withdrawal actually is, and they haven't been on drugs for 18 years, so they don't know. So I'm here to offer an ear, you know, any support, any resources that have worked for me. I'm here to talk and share what I know has worked for me. But I'm also really looking for somebody to talk to. Just someone who can relate to me. I think that would be really helpful. So yeah, that's my journey. It's what I'm going through. And it's teaching me to be patient, which is not my strength. And it's teaching me to surrender, because during this process I'm having to let, in some cases, some relationships go. I'm having to let go of like my disciplines, like handstands and contortion, because I can't practice them right now. I've had to let go of gigs. I've had to let go of income and students. I've had to let go of going out and doing all the things that I want to do, and making plans on the spot, and seeing friends, and I'm having to sleep more and surrender. And there's a lot of resistance there, because I just want to go and do the things and just have fun, you know? Yeah, so I'm working through that resistance right now, and it makes me have to call on hope, faith, and clarity, and ignite self-love, and find gratitude even when I'm feeling at my worst. So it's teaching me a lot, for sure. Let's see. What are some of the comments here? Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Kushirowa. Becca, for all your kind words and your love. Amazing, you guys. Yeah, you've been there, Heather. Yeah, it can feel really lonely to go through this, for sure. Especially not being around people who have gone through it. You're saying, Heather, it does get better slowly, day by day. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to my journey of withdrawal from prednisone. 18 years of it. You know, I didn't anticipate it was going to be this hard, but it could be worse. I mean, I'm going through it, and it's challenging for sure, but at least I'm going through it in the summer. At least I can sit on a bank of water on a beach somewhere in a forest and be in nature while I go through this withdrawal. At least I can sit with the sun on my face in my backyard while I watch the birds. You know, I put out some bird feeders because all I could do is sit in my backyard most of the time. And instead of just looking at my garden, I wanted to bring life in. So I put bird feeders and a bird bath, and at least I can sit out there. You know, at least I'm not withdrawing in the winter. Oh man, that would be rough. And at least I got some summer adventures underway, and I'm looking forward to that. And I'm doing it. It's happening. So thank you guys for tuning in.